The Masters. This was the final call, courtesy of CBS Sports.
The journey it's taken to get here.
Oh, Jim Nantz.
For all this history.
The long journey is over. McIlroy has his masterpiece.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not watching. I was out to dinner with Maya when the tournament ended, but apparently everyone's happy. I guess that Rory McIlroy run,
it was awesome. Yeah, you had to be happy. I mean, did you see it? He was crying afterward. It was great.
It was emotional. So he gets the career Grand Slam. Good stuff. I knew it was a good thing when Happy Gilmore himself, Adam Sandler, posted congratulations. So congrats to Rory Gilmore. I don't know if this was a successful Masters for me or not, because I'm waiting to hear back from the aforementioned Bill Caiaccio to see if he brought me back egg salad sandwiches. I know he had a busy weekend covering the Masters for us at WSB Radio, but I put in a request early and often for as many egg salad sandwiches as he could bring back. I came to the station today eagerly anticipating said classic egg salad sandwiches. I checked all the fridges. They're not there. So maybe just Bill has them at home, and he'll bring them in later today. But anyway.
If not, Mrs. Caiaccio better be making you some.
Well, no. Listen, I even told Bill, I'm like, don't worry about it. He's like, no, it's not a problem. And it's one of my favorite meals. And I'll even go, I'll 86 the Passover rules of not eating bread, because I think God would understand that it's Masters egg salad sandwiches. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the Masters. Hope you had a great weekend. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go live to the nation's capital. John Decker, White House correspondent, is going to join us. We had some more tariff news over the weekend, and the markets are apparently looking favorably at the announcements, the new tariff news. The Dow futures up 600 points. NASDAQ's up 337, which is a 2% climb. So it looks like we're about to have a really nice day on Wall Street. And if you look at the foreign indexes, the Asian market's up huge across the board. The Asia Dow, the Nikkei, the Hang Seng, the Shanghai, the Sensex, and the Singapore, all in the green. And even our compadres in Europe are all up, all in the green, over 2%. So it looks like it's shaping up to be a really nice day in the market. But we're going to go get the latest on the tariff news, some exemptions. I mean, you really need a PhD to keep up with what's going on with the tariffs and how it's going to impact us. But apparently there are some chip exemptions floated out on Friday night and over the weekend. But correspondent John Decker is going to join us in just a little bit from the White House. I do want to say we're going to go in depth on a story you heard on Atlanta's Morning News. Because of the hurricanes here in the southeastern United States, the IRS has given Georgia residents a tax deadline extension. So obviously today's April 14th. Tomorrow, April 15th, the traditional tax deadline day. But here in Georgia, even if you didn't feel the effects of the hurricane, the entire state is getting a pushback on the tax deadline to May 1st. So we're going to talk to Sanjay Gehi from Brass Tax Accounting, the official accountant of the Mark Arum Show, on what that means for us and whether we need to file today by the 1st, what we need to do. So we're going to go in depth with that. And there was a really sad story up in Pennsylvania. I think you heard judges talk about it, where there was an arson attack on the governor's mansion. Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, you might remember that name because he was floated as a possible running mate for Kamala Harris in the Democratic nomination process as her running mate. He ultimately didn't get it, but he is the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, and there was an arson attack of all things on the governor's mansion. So we're going to check in with Aaron Katersky in Pennsylvania, covering that story for us in just a little bit. I do want to get you caught up to date on the Ukraine situation. Apparently, there was an attack on the northeastern city of Sumy. It has claimed 34 lives, and officials fear that death toll could rise as search and recovery efforts continue at the blast site. BBC correspondent James Waterhouse reports from Sumy, which is apparently a residential area of Ukraine.
The scene this morning is of a continued recovery effort. Rescue crews are clearing up the endless debris. There is shattered glass everywhere. I'm standing in the middle of two blast zones where two ballistic missiles slammed into Sumy yesterday.
Did I? President Trump said that he thinks it was an accident, that Russia didn't mean to firebomb that's residential area, but that's something worth monitoring. There was also a meeting in Saudi Arabia this weekend between the United States delegation and the Iran delegation. We'll go to CBS News and get an update on that live. I apologize. Did I call Rory McIlroy Rory Gilmore? When I was, did I?
Yes, you did.
I am so sorry. Well, you know
Yes.
where my all right. So Roy, I'm so sorry. People are scratching their head, going, "What is he talking about?" Rory Gilmore? No, Rory McIlroy. Now the second most famous Rory in pop culture. Rory Gilmore still number one. I apologize to the golf fans. I should know that. Rory McIlmore. Rory, the golfer, not Rory, the student at Yale and at Chilton. So we have a lot to cover today, but I do want to get you caught up to date on the tariff news. Again, we had a lot of new developments over the weekend. When it comes to the tariffs and the tariff situation, we are going to go live to White House correspondent John Decker right now. John, good morning, my friend. Hope you had a great weekend.
Oh, I did, Mark. Hope you had a good weekend as well.
It was Masters weekend down here, buddy. We were all enjoying Rory McIlroy, not Rory Gilmore's victory at the Masters. More tariff news, shock of all shock. President Trump and his cabinet and advisors laying out some tweaks to the current tariff policy. What do we know?
Well, the tweaks were announced Friday initially, and that had to do with exemptions for electronics coming from China. So smartphones, iPhones certainly covered under that, flat screens, laptops, all of that exempted from tariffs announced by the administration. But then over the weekend, the president said that those exemptions for those products only temporary. And we'll see what the reaction is in just about 20 minutes when the markets open and throughout the week for the financial markets with this uncertainty, because you have the president saying one thing as it relates to these new tariffs. You have some of the people that work for him as Treasury Secretary, as Commerce Secretary, as Trade Advisor, saying something else as it relates to these tariffs and other tariffs which could be announced by the president in the weeks to come.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we've seen, the mixed messaging. You hear from Peter Navarro one thing, and then you hear from Bessent another thing, and then President Trump speaks to reporters and erase everything you heard, from the cabinet members. What do we think this impact might have on consumer goods, on the markets, as you mentioned, and the overall uncertainty that we've been feeling around these tariffs?
Well, last week at this time, if you asked me what it would mean, I tell you something, and it wouldn't necessarily be correct, because we saw the president, as you know, last Wednesday, Mark, announced that 90-day pause on those reciprocal tariffs, the 10% baseline tariff still in place. And that obviously changed their reaction from financial markets initially. But then when they realized that there's a trade war going on between the U.S. and China, the U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods coming into the U.S., 145%. The Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods exported to China, 125%. We'll see if there's a tamping down of that trade war that happens this week. The president saying he has no plans to meet or speak with President Xi of China anytime soon. So I think that also creates more uncertainty in financial markets.
White House correspondent John Decker joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Over the weekend, China lobbed another grenade in this trade war, suspending exports of critical materials and magnets used in the production of cars, drones, and missiles. Is this just a big game of chicken between the two world superpowers on who's going to blink first?
Well, to a certain degree, that is correct. China is America's third largest trading partner. So when we talk about a trade war, it's a pretty significant trade war, huge markets that both the U.S. and China have, and there's a huge trade imbalance that exists between the U.S. and China, that we have a trade deficit, and that's something that the president would like to see whittled away. It's difficult to do because that trade deficit, Mark, has only increased under every president over the course of the past few decades. Even under President Trump, that trade deficit increased. So it's difficult to whittle away at something like that when there's just so much demand for so many products coming from China.
Yeah, I mean, from low-end stuff to the iPhone, right? Which, could, with these tariffs, be now a $3,000 device that you have in your pocket. I've said consistently, John, that despite the rhetoric, right, and despite this trade war, the United States and China have had a pretty symbiotic relationship, right? We need the stuff that China sends. China needs to send that stuff here. There's very few countries that could take over that load, even though President Xi is trying to find other trade partners to make up for any lack in the United States purchase power. But ultimately, it comes down to which country can withstand the most pain in this. Mm-hmm. And as I said last week, here in the United States, we have a democracy. If we don't like what's going on, we get to vote and maybe change leadership. Chinese residents really don't have that option to,
No, they don't.
Aside from Tiananmen Square. So they are, by force, could handle more pain than the United States citizens could.
Yeah, I mean, that's what history shows. But, we should all wait and see. China's economy is one that is also exceedingly large. But as you point out, unlike the U.S., the Chinese leadership, President Xi doesn't have to face the wrath of voters as it relates to a downturn in the U.S. economy.
Exactly. Anything scheduled for the president at the White House today?
He's meeting with his counterpart from El Salvador today. And then later in the week, he'll be meeting with his counterpart from Italy. That'll happen on Thursday of this week. Friday, no events planned. That's Good Friday. And so that means likely a long weekend for the president, likely in Florida.
Indeed. All right. Always a pleasure. John Decker, thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm glad John mentioned the president of El Salvador is going to be at the White House today. Coming up later in the show, we're going to talk to ABC's Stephen Portnoy, the latest on that Venezuelan migrant that is still in El Salvador, Brego Garcia. We had some big movement on that story over the weekend, so Stephen Portnoy is going to check in with us. All right, this is really exciting. I should have mentioned this at the top of the show, Deborah. I apologize for this because this is such a huge get. All right, when we come back, we're going to give away tickets. And these aren't just any tickets, Deborah. These are dual tickets, probably the coolest prize I've ever given on the Mark Arum Show. When we come back after this break, what are we giving away?
We are giving away not only tickets to see Yacht Rock Review live at Amerisbank Amphitheater on April 22nd, but you'll also get a pre-performance Yacht Rock Review in the WSB Live Lounge with the Q&A hosted by you.
Unbelievable. So after we check traffic and take a quick commercial break, we're going to come back and give that amazing prize package away to see Yacht Rock Review, not only in their concert, but a special private appearance here at the WSB Live Lounge. That is coming up next. But first, singing the Monday Morning Blues on the road, live with the latest, Smile Mark McKay.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning to you. We will start to see improvement on the outer loop of the perimeter, leaving 675, trying to get up into the busy I-20 interchange. It was a vehicle fire. Clean up. All that's left now is a right lane as a Hero unit picks up the cones associated with that right lane closure on 285 north, the outer loop before I-20 exit 46. Again, quite slow back into the I-675 interchange. Rolling out of McDonough into Stockbridge, we've picked up a slow zone. We're looking for trouble on I-75 northbound near Jonesboro Road into downtown Atlanta. Still sluggish on the connector, 75-85 northbound, leaving 166 Langford Parkway headed up toward Midtown. This report sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Smile Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we are conquering the unconquerable. Our experts are leading the way with innovative regenerative medicines and biotherapeutics that can repair diseased, injured, or defective tissues and organs to help treat people with chronic medical conditions. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
Finley Roofing, the roof guys, know that furry friends are family, and some need our help. In keeping with their connection to the community, Finley Roofing presents WSB's Dog of the Month. This Friday, we'll highlight a dog from Paws Atlanta. If you adopt them, Finley Roofing will pay your adoption fees. Listen Friday morning at 8:50 and visit WSBradio.com/dog. Dog of the Month is presented by Finley Roofing, the roof guys, Paws Atlanta, and 95.5 WSB.
Last night, we experienced an attack not just on our family, but on the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania here at the governor's residence.
Governor Josh Shapiro, early Sunday morning, there was an arson attack on the governor's mansion. Coming up a little bit later on the show, we're going to go live to Pennsylvania. Aaron Katersky covering the story will join us live. Before we get back to a local story I want to talk about, Deborah, let's give away these tickets. And this is really cool. Not only are we giving away now, there's going to be another chance in the 11 o'clock hour for you to win what, Deborah Green?
You'll win a pair of tickets to go check out Yacht Rock Review right here in the WSB Live Lounge. That performance is Monday, April 21st. And then you get a chance to see Yacht Rock Review all over again when they perform at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on April 26th.
So that performance is 1 week from today in the WSB Live Lounge. Small, intimate, the band, me, you. This is amazing. Vinny, I hate to do this for you, but I'm going to make you work for this. 44th caller. In honor of Hank Aaron. 44th caller to 404-872-0750 wins that amazing prize pack. Tickets to see Yacht Rock Review at the Ameris Bank Amphitheater. And in 1 week from today, a small intimate performance by the band and me. I'm not going to perform. I'll be emceeing and doing a Q&A with the band. But 1 week from today, you get a pair of tickets to that as well. So what an experience. 44th caller wins at 404-872-0750. 404-872-0750. You miss out now, another chance to win in the 11 o'clock hour. All right, quick local story. This one jumped off the page to me, Deborah.
The flooring company Wellmade in Cartersville has been busted for labor trafficking. Wellmade Industries owner Zhu Shen, his nephew, and a third person connected to the company were all arrested on April 5th. All three face felony charges for trafficking of persons for labor or sexual servitude. Now, two are out on bond, but their whereabouts are going to be tracked electronically. They can only leave their house for a doctor's appointment, legal appointments, to go to church, or grocery shop for essentials. Stephen Schrank, a special agent with ICE, is working with the victims, stating there are avenues for trafficking victims and witnesses of crime to remain in the country even if they are here illegally.
There's so many layers to the story. The craziest part to me, though, is so the owners of this company got busted for illegal labor practices. But when ICE popped in, all the workers thought it was like an ICE deportation bust. So they were freaking out and running, but the ICE wasn't there for the workers. They were there for the owners who allegedly have been performing some really dastardly stuff. So crazy local story there. All right, speaking of local stories, Judd will update your local stories next. When we come back, tariffs have been in the news for the last couple of weeks. Are they impacting President Trump's popularity? Jennifer DePinto from CBS joins us live next with the poll numbers on the Mark Arum Show.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Aaron, you mentioned that taxes are on sale. What exactly does that mean? And is it something we need to take advantage of right now?
Yeah, Mark, it may not feel like it right now, especially this time of year, but when you look at history, we are actually in historically low income tax rates time. If you look back, tax rates have been significantly higher. And when you look at the national debt, which most reference at around $36 trillion, but when you consider the fact that with all the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, it's actually north of $100 trillion. When we look at factors like that, there's a pretty good chance that tax rates actually go significantly higher again. So yeah, you can make an argument that right now taxes are on sale.
So Aaron, what can we do right now to take advantage of these low tax rates?
If you don't have an income plan in your retirement conversations, then you actually don't have a tax plan. And that's important because if you don't have a plan for your money, guess who does? Uncle Sam's got one, and by default, you'll fall into that one. So we want to offer you a no-cost, no-obligation tax map. It's a deep dive into your retirement plan and specifically your tax strategy. From there, we'll make suggestions based on what's working or what opportunities could better fit your situation. The goal is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money while giving less to Uncle Sam. Call us at 770-280-1488. Again, that's 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we're available all across Metro Atlanta to meet you at a time and place that fits your schedule.
Taxes are not a seasonal conversation, and they're not going away once you retire. Take advantage of the complimentary tax map by calling the Vincent Financial Group today. 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And join us for Retire ATL Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour. Good news this morning for procrastinators. The traditional federal deadline for filing your taxes is tomorrow, of course, but for Georgians, we got some extra time.
The deadline this year is May the 1st for federal and state returns and payments associated. And it's because of the hurricane that went through, Hurricane Helene that went through here.
Yeah, that's local CPA Judine Reese. She says even though the deadline has been extended, though, her recommendation remains go ahead, file by the end of the day tomorrow if you can to avoid any extra paperwork. It is 63 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says high will creep into the low 80s today. Plenty of sunshine. Get down near 60 tonight, and then cooler weather rolling in tomorrow. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Interesting idea heading to Atlanta. New investment firm raising as much as $1.5 billion to convert empty office buildings to housing, and doing it in 10 major cities, including Atlanta. Bloomberg reports the firm Donahue Douglas is looking to take advantage of tax incentives to make conversions of office space more attractive. It's believed almost 20% of U.S. office space is still vacant 5 years after the start of the pandemic. Georgia is among several southern states high on a report of the easiest places to save money.
Georgia ranks 14th among states when it comes to how easy it is for residents to save, according to Bankrate. The study looked at the local economy, taxes, and how much people are able to earn on deposit accounts like CDs and money market accounts. Tennessee was named the best state for saving, followed by Missouri and Texas. Rounding out the top 5 were Oklahoma and Florida. Bankrate says the worst state for saving is Hawaii, followed by Connecticut and then Vermont. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Watching the White House today, where President Trump meets with the president of El Salvador, expected to talk immigration after the U.S. paid El Salvador to imprison hundreds of deported migrants from the U.S. Meanwhile, the Trump cabinet is said to be hard at work with dozens of major trading partners to sort out wide-ranging tariffs that have sent the markets on a roller coaster ride.
They insist they can get this done in just 90 days, but it's a real steep climb. I mean, we know right now of at least a handful of countries that are in active negotiations. They say roughly 130 have come calling and are now in discussions.
But White House correspondent Mary Bruce notes the last major trade deal overseen by President Trump with Mexico and Canada during his first term, that one took years to finalize. And speaking of the markets, looking at your money, markets way up this morning. Dow is up almost 400 points. NASDAQ's up more than 350, and S&P is up 1.5%, about 81 total points right now. And they are off to space. The first all-female space flight in more than 60 years has launched from Texas this morning. Among the 6 women on that Blue Origin flight, pop star Katy Perry and CBS Morning's co-host Gayle King.
In 10 minutes, they're accelerated straight up to nearly 3 times the speed of sound. And then they get about 3 minutes of weightlessness and a chance to view the planet from more than 62 miles up.
They are straight up at this moment and going fast. Space contributor Bill Harwood says the flight will also include, Lauren Sanchez. It's the fiance of Blue Origin's founder, Jeff Bezos, and she is the one that helped organize this trip to space. Looking at a live view, they are headed that way now. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather, starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Smiling Mark McKay.
Brake light battle on the southeast leg of the perimeter. Judd leaving I-675 quite slow up to where we had a vehicle fire cleanup in multiple right lanes. All lanes back open. Still seeing slowing leaving I-675 up to where that cleanup operation was underway past Flat Shoals, exit 46. Watching a battle out of McDonough on I-75 northbound through lane slow up to Jonesboro at exit 221. Construction zone slowing on 20 westbound. Prepare for it out of Conyers into Lithonia. 20 westbound on the brakes, leaving Evansville Road to 285. West side of I-285. On the west side, everything's working well, much better than earlier, passing Six Flags on I-20 east to Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Smiler Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 82, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. A cold front passing by tomorrow morning will keep our afternoon highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Wind gusts tomorrow afternoon as high as 30 miles per hour.
62 degrees in Lilburn, 60 in Marietta, 63 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride
Don't
home.
tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
They made a mistake. I believe it was... Look, you're going to ask them. This is Biden's war. This is not my war.
President Trump on board Air Force One yesterday talking about the Russia attack in Ukraine. The tariffs, the big news. How have these tariff stories impacted President Trump's poll numbers? We'll go in depth next on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
When I think of the word deck, I think of a lot of things. It could be a deck, or a screened-in porch, a Four Seasons room, even an outdoor patio. To me, those are all decks. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. If you want to upgrade your current deck or add a new deck to your outdoor living space, you need my friends at Ben Hill Renovations. See, Ben Hill Renovations has been building decks for over 60 years. They're experts at creating decks of all shapes and sizes. They're deck experts. Dexperts, if you will. With deck season right around the corner, now is the time to put your deck dreams into motion. Contact Ben Hill Renovations today and have your deck ready for entertaining this spring and summer. Ben Hill Renovations offers multiple financing options, up to 18 months no interest, and affordable monthly payments with approved credit. Schedule a free at-home design consultation today at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964. bhrenovations.com.
9:37 on this gorgeous morning, Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. 1 hour from now, get the latest on the U.S.-Iranian talks over the weekend. 11 o'clock, in case you missed it, because of the hurricanes here in Georgia, we got a tax deadline extension to May 1st. We're going to talk to CPA Sanjay Gahi from Brass Tax Accounting on what that means to us. Right now, the market's just open and all in the green, monitoring what the future showed. Dow's up 400 points already. NASDAQ's up 276. Looks, hopefully, will be a good day on Wall Street. It's been an up and down mix, though, because of the tariffs. And it's not just Wall Street that's been up and down. It's been the president's poll numbers, apparently. Joining us live from CBS News with the very latest on the poll numbers, Jennifer DePinto. Jennifer, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Oh, good morning.
Before we get into what the poll said and what the numbers were, tell us about the poll, who conducted it, when it was conducted, et cetera.
CBS News conducted it along with YouGov, our partners in the poll, and we started the poll on April 8th and went through April 11th. It's a nationwide poll conducted online. It's a nationally representative sample, and we have over 2,000 respondents.
So that 8th to 11th day, that was in the height of the tariff?
It was during a lot of the, if you want to call it a tumultuous week in the market.
Gotcha.
So yes, it was during that time.
So a very timely poll, with all the tariff uncertainty going on. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. What did the poll show about President Trump's approval rating with the tariff uncertainty?
Along with the tariff uncertainty, we find Americans are not completely sold on this idea of tariffs, and it's higher prices are a main reason why. 75% think that new tariffs will raise prices in the short term, and even many think that that's going to happen in the long term. And part of the reason, and this makes Americans uncertain. They're already uncertain about inflation, and that was a big reason that Donald Trump won the election. And people were expecting their financial situations to get better. And now we see that an increasing number think that his policies are actually making their situation worse. On handling the economy, his approval rating in early March was 51. It dipped to 48 and is now at 44. And his overall approval rating is now at 47% and 53% disapproved. And at the start in February, 53% approved. So people are feeling a bit uncertain right now.
So a 6% drop in his overall approval rating, and a sizable drop in what we think he was elected for, right, was to stabilize the economy and make things better for Americans.
Yes, and when we polled in January, 4 in 10 Americans expected Donald Trump's policies to make them better off financially. That number today is now 21%. So there has been a drop off there. And inflation and prices are a big factor in how people judge the economy overall and judge their own finances. So hence this uncertainty about tariffs and increasing prices adds to that.
Jennifer DePinto from CBS News joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Now, traditionally, these poll numbers might be troublesome, right, to a president. But unless something changes with the Constitution, this is President Trump's last term. So I don't want to say is he bulletproof to these polls, but would he care less about the poll numbers than someone that had to worry about a reelection?
That's hard to say, but what we do see is the people who voted for him and Republicans are clearly still in his corner. They overwhelmingly approve of the tariffs, even if they are concerned about prices going up, and they are willing to show some patience and to give more time in order to judge how these policies might impact the economy. So he does have those people still in his corner, and even at a 47% approval rating, while that is lower than how he started, it is still higher than at any point we had seen in our polling in his first term.
Interesting. All right. So even though there was a dip in the polls, he's still polling better than he was in term number one. Aside from the tariffs and the economic questions, did you folks and YouGov ask any other questions related to President Trump and what he's done so far?
We mostly focused on the economy and tariffs, but one thing to note is that his approval rating on handling immigration, which is at 50% now, it is higher than his handling on these economic issues. And we do find that there is more support for his deportation program than there is on tariffs. So he does have some support there that's helping keep his approval rating, not to dip further.
Excellent. Jennifer DePinto, fantastic insight. Thanks so much for sharing the poll numbers with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Jennifer mentioned the immigration policy. In just a minute, we're going to go to Stephen Portnoy from ABC, an update on the situation with Abrego Garcia, the Venezuelan that was deported to El Salvador. First, I want to congratulate Bob in Atlanta. He won that amazing prize pack of tickets. It's 4 tickets to 2 separate shows to see Yacht Rock Review, their big show at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, and then next Monday, a private show here at the WSB Lodge Lounge. Limited. Is there going to be food and beverage, Deborah? Do we get word on that? Is there going to be adult beverage?
There's no food and beverage in the Live Lounge. We can't have that in there.
Oh, all right. I didn't. I might sneak in some snacks, but and we're going to give away another amazing prize pack in the 11 o'clock hour. If you're a fan of Yacht Rock Review, this is a can't miss concert opportunity. All right, I just mentioned his name, Stephen Portnoy from ABC News, joining us on the show. Stephen, good morning. Some movement over the weekend when it comes to the deportee Abrego Garcia. Venezuela national shipped off to El Salvador. What do we know this morning?
Well, for the first time in court papers, the government confirmed the suspicion that this man is being held at the Seacoast prison in El Salvador, the notorious counter-terror prison that has been built by the president of El Salvador to house the worst of the worst. And the president of El Salvador is here in Washington, D.C. today to meet with President Trump in the Oval Office. And you have to wonder if this case is going to come up. Now, as you know, El Salvador has agreed to take in hundreds of detainees of the American government, particularly Venezuelans, by the dozens, who were sent out of this country in secret under the order of the president, under the Alien Enemies Act, which the Supreme Court has now come in and said that the president cannot use the same way going forward without first giving notice and the ability to challenge the removals in federal court. And so the question is, what of the men who are there, including this Salvadoran man that we've focused so much on, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whom the government says it should not have sent to his native country because it was found 6 years ago by an immigration court that if he were to be sent back, he could be targeted by the gang he says he fled that country to escape, a gang called Barrio 18.
Is the president of El Salvador in D.C. because of this, or is he there to talk tariffs, or is this a pre-planned visit?
It is definitely pre-planned, and there's a wide agenda. But certainly, one of the things that is on the table between the two countries is the fact that the U.S. government's been paying $6 million now to the government of El Salvador to house these men without any charge here, in most cases, or in Venezuela, or certainly not in El Salvador, where it's a country where these men have very likely never been, with one exception of this Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who's not accused of committing a crime in El Salvador, as far as I know, and is not accused of committing a felony here in the United States either. And yet, the question is, what of him? What is the government going to do to get him back? Because the Supreme Court held last week that a judge in Maryland, a federal judge in Maryland, properly directed the government to facilitate his return. Well, yesterday, the government filed in this court in Maryland and said, to the extent it's willing to facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, it is only in lowering the barriers to entry on the U.S. side, which is to say, if he can make his way here, we'll let him back into the country.
Wow. I would imagine, though, if the El Salvadorian president's in D.C., it should be pretty easy to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia back to the United States or back to wherever he wants to go.
Well, Mark, I'll say a couple of things about that. First, I'll say I don't know anything about the politics or the law of El Salvador. I have no idea what recourse this man might have in the courts in that country. I imagine that the president has the power, as most leaders do, to effect prisoner transfers or swaps. We see that, certainly. So the question is, will the president of El Salvador show up with this man on his plane today? I don't know. I doubt it, because one thing I have read is that this Bukele of El Salvador is popular in his country because he's cleaned up the streets and because he's imprisoned alleged gang members. Now, of course, we have to say it. The Trump administration argues that this man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was a member of MS-13. Now, he denies that. His family strongly denies it. They say he was a law-abiding man raising an American son with his American wife and was working in a union to be a tradesman, all of that. But the government insists. Well, there's this, look at the filing here. It's many years old, but look at it right here. The judge said that there's reason to believe that he was a member of MS-13 because somebody unnamed said so. Now, the administration's taking the position that even if it was a mistake to send him back to the home country because an immigration judge said, we're going to protect you from that, they sent him back there anyway, there's the argument that underlying the idea that he mustn't be sent back to El Salvador is the notion that he could be sent to another country, any other country, with which the U.S. happens to have an agreement. And so, would he actually be allowed to come here? Could the government figure out some kind of legal way to send him somewhere else? Where would that be? What of his wife and child? And so these are open questions. But it's also a bit of a mystery, Mark. We don't know why he was picked up last month and swept up into this. The government has not explained that, and that's sort of hanging over all of this.
In the meantime, though, we are told he is, quote, alive and secure. We'll see what happens today in D.C. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Stephen, as always, appreciate your time.
You bet.
When we come back, what I think the Trump administration should do regarding Abrego Garcia. What I think you should do is avoid the South Side right now. We've got some big backups on I-75, Mark McKay.
Trying to work between McDonough and Stockbridge. Mark, looks like we have a crash at Jonesboro Road, exit 221. So the local lanes are all jammed up, leaving Highway 155. You can jump on Highway 4223, or if you own a Peach Pass, the express lane's still working well up to the I-675 split. Rolling past the airport in the downtown connector, northbound slowing from the Georgia State Center Park Stadium area up past I-20, and slow out of northeast Atlanta and Buckhead at the 485 corridor, with delays rolling towards 17th Street on 85 South. This report sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. Smile, Mark McKay, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
If you have the WSB
all
app,
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app,
all the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Here at Massey, we've seen the damage termites can cause. That's why we've protected homes from termite damage for almost 100 years. Our termite protection program doesn't just protect your home from termites, it gives you peace of mind. That's why our termite protection guarantee covers your home and all the things in it. When we protect against termites, we protect families. Schedule your free inspection today at MasseyServices.com. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? With Xfinity, you can. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do with Xfinity Internet and mobile together. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes, fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited mobile welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for The Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday, noon to 1, right here on 95.5 WSB.
9:53. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Hey, good news for you tax procrastinators like me, procrastinators. Because of the severe storms that hit Georgia, we have a deadline extension. Taxes traditionally due tomorrow, April 15th, but Georgians get a reprieve till May 1st. What does that mean for you and me? Sanjay Gehi, owner of Brax Tax Accounting, is going to join us live at 11 o'clock and answer our questions about what this extension might mean to us. I do believe, though, even if, if you want to file an extension beyond May 1st, you have to pay your taxes tomorrow. But don't quote me. You can quote Sanjay when he comes on at 11 o'clock. Before I get to what I think President Trump should do regarding Abrego Garcia, Deborah, sad news today. 113 years ago today. You ready for this?
Okay.
113 years ago today, this woman named Rose killed Jack Dawson in the chilly North Atlantic. There was plenty of room on that door, that piece of wood, but she wouldn't let him on. She was selfish, and Jack Dawson died 113 years ago today. This is Marshall Drew. He was 8 years old when he was rescued from the Titanic. Decades later, he remembered what happened.
Women and children first, and of course that meant my uncle was lost. We were put in a lifeboat and lowered down the side of the ship, which is like going down a skyscraper.
Unbelievable. Rest in peace, Jack Dawson. And what was the name of that necklace that Rose chucked into the
heart of the ocean?
The heart of the ocean. Was that a blue diamond?
Yeah, it was a blue diamond.
All right. Well, speaking of blue diamonds, a rare historic vivid blue diamond from the same region as Smithsonian's famous Hope Diamond, set to be auctioned at Christie's in New York City next month.
I think it's going to set a brand new record for a blue diamond or any colored diamond at auction because it's irreplaceable. You know, there are blue diamonds in the market and they're all rare, but to have a blue diamond with this noble provenance, with a Golconda origin, it's not going to happen again.
That's Rahul Katakia, Christie's International head of jewelry. He said he expects the bidding to get up to $50 million just due to the diamond's uniqueness. Now, since it's already in New York City, and I think this diamond came from India, is it free from tariffs? Is this a tariff-proof $50 million? Who buys a $50 million diamond? I mean, even like if you have Elon Musk's money, like how bad did you have to screw up to buy your wife a $50 million diamond? How?
Why can't it just be that you want to be nice and buy her a diamond?
Yeah, but a $50 million. I don't know who. I'm assuming maybe like a Saudi oil person might buy it. That's a lot. I mean, you think of how much jewelry would you? All right, Deborah, would you rather have one $50 million blue diamond or like $50 million of any jewelry you want?
No, I think I'll take the one giant blue diamond and just wear it everywhere. Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I mean,
it's the only one.
I'd feel so nervous about that, though. I would feel like, well, you know, wearing a $50 million. You need to walk around with a SWAT team with you to make sure you don't get.
Everybody would know if they stole it. They know where you stole it from.
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, congratulations then to whoever buys the $50 million blue diamond. It's not Rose Dawson. Oh, Rose. Longoria, paint me like you do your French women. When do we come back after news, weather, traffic? Oh, I didn't pay it off. I have what I think the Trump administration should do when it comes to Abrego Garcia. We'll update the markets. It's been positive thus far with the adjustment to the tariffs over the weekend, and we'll go back live to the White House. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring an all-Italian program of Respighi, Paganini, and Bottesini. Explore Italia in Respighi's Pines of Rome and Fountains of Rome, and experience Italian sensation Giuseppe Gibbone perform Paganini's Violin Concerto No. 1. The program fans the flames with a concert opener by Bottesini, May 1st and 3rd at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. Our top story this hour.
Good luck and Godspeed, ladies.
A day for the history books. For the first time, an all-female crew has launched into space from West Texas this morning. And now they're back.
CBS News Special Report.
Command engine start. 2, 1, ignition.
Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket blasted off as planned, giving its all-female celebrity crew a few minutes of weightlessness on a 10-minute flight. CBS Morning's co-host Gail King was on board.
Now that we are the first female crew, I know we're not going to be the last.
That's right.
And I just think it opens doors about innovation and imagination.
Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos asked fiancée Lauren Sanchez if she wanted to take part in a launch, and she replied,
Could I take all women up? And he goes, that's a great idea. And he goes, I don't think there's ever been an all-female flight. He goes, let's do it.
Singer Katy Perry was also part of the crew. Perception, there it is. The women screamed and celebrated as they touched down after safely descending back to Earth. CBS News Special Report, I'm Wendy Gillette.
All right, your weather for today. It's going to be sunny and warm. Afternoon highs around 82, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A settlement will resolve all claims against him without a lawsuit after the ex-husband of Marjorie Taylor Greene verbally harassed a group of praying young Muslims. We will learn more later this hour.
3 Muslim women will speak about their experience after agreeing to a settlement with Perry Greene, who came forward to apologize when video circulated of him yelling profanities and insults at them. Greene harassed the women as he drove by and saw them praying in a parking lot at the Avalon Shopping Center in Alpharetta. Kara Georgia says the amount of the settlement will be revealed in a 10:30 news conference at the Women's Johns Creek Mosque. The women's lawyer said Greene was considering a donation to a charity which fights Islamophobia. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
A new investment firm is on a mission to convert a glut of office buildings to housing across the country, including right here in Atlanta. Donahue Douglas seeks to raise up to $1.5 billion in the venture with a focus on putting empty office buildings to better use. Bloomberg reports the firm is also taking advantage of tax incentives that make conversions increasingly attractive. It's targeting 10 major cities, including Atlanta. One analysis says nearly 20% of U.S. office space is still vacant 5 years after the start of the pandemic. Donahue Douglas says there's still a vast housing shortage, creating the perfect storm for its conversion business. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB. Now the latest on the trade war with China. Business correspondent Rebecca Jarvis reporting this morning. While President Trump has granted some relief on China tech tariffs over the weekend, consumers appear to still be bracing for the impact of other tariffs.
The uncertainty over tariffs has also rippled over into consumer confidence, fueling the biggest hit to confidence among consumers in over a decade, except for March 2020, and that's when COVID hit.
And she says some consumers may start noticing something called a tariff surcharge on their receipts as the tariffs start to kick in. And while we're talking about your money, the tax deadline here in Georgia has been extended.
The deadline this year is May the 1st for federal and state returns and payments associated. And it's because of the Hurricane Helene that went through here.
Judine Reese is a CPA here in Metro Atlanta. She says even though the deadline has been extended, her recommendation, go ahead and file by the end of the day tomorrow if you can, to avoid any extra paperwork that may be possible. Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the green. The Dow's up 323 at 40,536. NASDAQ is currently up also more than 1%, almost up 1.5%, and the S&P is also in positive territory. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good Monday morning to Ashley Frasca in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey there, Sabrina. We start with a slight slowdown on both ends of I-75. Earlier trouble now on the shoulder. Police were on the scene 75 northbound at Jonesboro Road, exit 221, a little slow behind it as you make your way out of McDonough, and a crash was in the right lane, and it is now on the shoulder with police and Hero in Marietta 75 south right at Windy Hill. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 82, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. A cold front passing by tomorrow morning will keep our afternoon highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Wind gusts tomorrow afternoon as high as 30 miles per hour.
63 degrees at Alpharetta, at 62 in Woodstock. Sugar Hill, you have 64 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole gang with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Bag of Donuts screens your calls. Coming up in 1 hour, we're going to have Sanjay Gehi from Brass Tax Accounting on live, talking about the Georgia filing extension here for your taxes, what that means to us. A little after the 11:35 news, one of the best prize packs I've given away in my 28-year career at WSB Radio. A pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater and a pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review give a private performance here at WSB Radio in the WSB Radio Live Lounge. That's next Monday. I'm going to be hosting that. We'll do a Q&A coming up at 11:35. Your next chance to win that amazing prize pack. I do want to update the tariff situation. We're going to go to the White House in just a second, but I want to check the markets real quick. Make sure I hit refresh. I get yelled at when I don't hit refresh. Dow's up 500 points. NASDAQ's up 300. So good news on the markets today. We had a little change in the tariff policy over the weekend. We'll check in with Elena Trini at the White House in just a second. But I want to give the Trump administration some advice here. And we heard from Jennifer DePinto from CBS talking about the polling, Americans kind of losing faith in President Trump's ability to navigate the tariff waters and the economy, but still getting strong reviews on his handling of the immigration situation, right? The border it's like a trickle now. He's getting good marks for that. Deportations. When it comes to the case, though, of Abrego Garcia, now the president of El Salvador is in D.C. today. And there's a chance, we heard from Stephen Porto, a small chance that Abrego Garcia is on the plane with the El Salvadoran president, is going to be returned to the United States as the Supreme Court has asked. Listen, the Trump administration, find someone to fall on the sword. Just admit you made a mistake. Just admit you made a mistake. Bring this guy back home and get it out of the news cycle. And don't tick off the Supreme Court by defying what they ruled last week, 9-0. Just go past it. Bring him back. Apologize if you have to. Sorry, we made a mistake. You're not in the gang. We had bad info, intel, whatever. And then get him a first-class ticket to wherever the heck he wants to go. If they keep, and again, listen, this is President Trump's playbook since he was 20 years old, is never admit you're wrong, right? Never admit you're wrong, and just keep on rolling with the narrative. I think that would be a mistake in this case for a number of reasons, right? You're polling so well on immigration. Don't let this suck up all the oxygen in the room, the case of Abrego Garcia. Just find someone to take the fall. Find a low-level person in ICE or Homeland Security and be like, yeah, it's my bad. We never should have deported him. He's back now. Because there could be civil liability here. Think about if you were deported to another country under false pretenses, didn't have any ability to defend yourself, and all of a sudden you're in another nation that you're not a resident of, and you're in this horrible jail, and then there'd be civil liability. You'd be like, I'm suing whoever did it. And if that happens, if there is a civil liability situation with Abrego Garcia, that keeps this story in the news longer and longer, and it might tick away at the approval rating of the immigration situation. Own it, get past it, move on. Think about if this happened to an American citizen. Let's say an American citizen was wrongly detained in Iran, right? The Iranian regime is like, oh, Andrew Longoria is in a gang. Look at those tattoos. We're deporting him to Cuba. Longoria's not from Cuba. He's a United States citizen. His family's been here the longer of all of ours. He was arrested wrongly in Iran, and then Iran's like, we're sending you to Cuba in a horrible prison there. As Americans, we'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you, Iran? He's innocent. He's Longoria. He's beloved. Not only are you falsely, imprisoning him, but you're deporting him to a country he's not from. We'd be outraged. The quicker this is out of the news cycle, the better it is for the Trump administration. I hope that Abrego Garcia is on the flight with the El Salvadorian president, the administration, or some lackey says, oh, we goofed. Sorry. We'll send you wherever you want to go in the world. We apologize this happened. Get it out of the news cycle as quick as you can. Because the longer that we're talking about Abrego Garcia, I fear that would hurt the administration and the positive poll numbers they've had on the immigration policy so far. Not that the president's asking my opinion, but that's what I would do if I was president. I'd be like, hey, someone's got to fall on the sword for me. Let's get this out of the news cycle. Let's get this guy a first-class ticket to Germany, France, wherever he wants to go, on our dime. We'll even send you on Air Force One, buddy. Kick back, whatever you want for food. Just get this out of the news cycle. And don't tick off the Supreme Court. Right? There's a lot of cases Supreme Court's going to hear in the next couple of months. Do you want to openly defy their order of getting this guy back? No, get it out of the news cycle. Don't pick off the Supreme Court. Don't hurt your strong poll numbers on immigration. That's what I would do. The less that Abrego Garcia's name is in the news cycle, the better it is for the Trump administration. Speaking of the Trump administration, more tariff news over the weekend. CNN's Elena Treen outside the White House this morning.
We are kicking off another week of economic uncertainty. That comes as, of course, President Trump announced last night that he will be imposing new tariffs on the semiconductor industry in the coming days, really kind of confirming that the so-called reprieve that we saw this White House give China and their electronics industry, not really so much of a reprieve. Now, just to get into this a little bit more, on Friday, the White House issued what they called a, quote, clarification of exemptions, which revealed that consumer electronics would be exempt from the tariffs that they imposed on Beijing. Now, at first, this did look like another pleasing market come down, but then yesterday, we really heard the president's top economic advisors kind of muddy the waters, kind of add more uncertainty and confusion to all of this when they did a tour of the Sunday shows. Listen to what they said.
The policy is no exemptions, no exclusions. The policy is in effect. No, there were not exclusions.
What he's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably a month or two.
What happened is, it's not really an exception, that's not even the right word for it. What happened is this type of supply chain moved from the tariff regime for the global tariff, the reciprocal tariff, and it moved to the national security tariff regime.
It is an exemption. It's not an exemption. It's a clarification. All to say they are continuing to muddy the waters here, just pushing more confusion around this broader tariff plan. And as we know, what is true one day is not necessarily true 24 hours later. We saw that happen last week. But I think the bottom line here is that where a lot of people were kind of celebrating these exemptions or these pause on some of these electronic goods, we are now learning that that is a temporary thing, as these more sector-specific semiconductor tariffs are expected to come into play in the near future. And also, just to take a broader step to mention that polling, I think this is pretty significant. The new CBS YouGov polling says that 56% of Americans disapprove of the president's handling of the economy. That is up from 52% on March 30th and 49% on March 2nd, all to say not the direction that this White House wants those numbers going.
Elena Treen earlier this morning at the White House for CNN. And it's weird because, you know, it's difficult to understand. All right, you know, we're going to pause on this, but we're going to do this tariff. It's not very black and white, and there is movement in the poll in the tariffs of what is going on now as opposed to what was planned and what's going to happen tomorrow. So there's still a lot of uncertainty to try to follow this. But even with that uncertainty, the markets are up today. Dow's up 400, Nasdaq's up 263. Europe indexes were a lot higher. Asian indexes were a lot higher. So despite the fact that there is still this uncertainty, it's not the doom cliff that we saw a couple weeks ago before the 90-day pause, where everyone was going to get just whacked upside the head with the tariffs. So Wall Street, yes, there's still confusion, but Wall Street is looking at it as, all right, well, let's just ride the hot hand right now, which is good. Right? No one should be celebrating losses on the Dow. Gold's the only thing that's down. I have no idea what the price of gold has been or what it is now. I know Hannity wants me to buy it, but it's $3,200 an ounce right now. And I'm not very familiar with the gold market. But invest in gold. And this is a broader question. if everything hits the fan, right, the civilization just absolutely collapses. Your green money's no good. The stocks are down. You have no savings. Everything's gone to hell in a handbasket. And you're fighting for survival. If you have an ounce of gold, does that buy you anything in a post-apocalyptic world? Can you just walk around with a little gold bar and be like, hey, I need some food? I understand, the sanctity of gold and the attractiveness of gold. But at the end of the day, if we're in a Mad Max situation, does gold still have value then in a post-apocalyptic world? Not that anything would. But everyone's like, oh, this is the safest thing. I guess gold has been valuable for all of human history, so maybe in a post-apocalyptic world it would continue to hold value. Anyway, any new tariff news, we will update you. I do want to update a couple of local stories. Word to the wise, if you're running from the police, A, don't run from the police. But B, if you are running from the police, don't get out of your car and jump into a lake, Deborah.
The body of a man who ran from deputies during a traffic stop in Rockdale County has been recovered from a lake. Deputies tried to conduct a traffic stop, but the suspect ran. He swam across Salem Lake, but the police were able to surround the water, and the suspect re-entered the water, but because the conditions were just too dangerous to continue the search, they suspended it. The DNR was able to recover the body just a few hours later.
Do we need swim lessons in this state? We have so many lakes are just flat out deadly in this state. Do people not know how to swim? I know it was cold, but I think I could manage to swim. I'm not in good shape or anything, but I think I could manage to doggy paddle my way to safety. A, don't run from the police. Why do people even run from the police? They're gonna get you. What are the odds? What's the success rate of people running from the police? You're just making it worse for yourself. But if you are going to run and jump in a lake, be an Olympic-style swimmer. He's dead now. And for what? We didn't even know what the whole thing was about. It was probably a misdemeanor. Unbelievable. Anyway, thank you, Deborah. All right, let's check the ride around town. Sources tell me we have some delays downtown. Live with the latest, it's Ashley Frasca.
Still a little bit crowded and thick through the downtown connector. 75-85 northbound as you head before and after I-20. I've got my eyes on a crash. Piedmont at Monroe, Atlanta Fire and police blocking most of the intersection there. And a tap of the brakes through the work zone on I-20 westbound around Panola Road. And get a look for new trouble now on I-20 west past Sigmund Road. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking. Under pressure, your retirement's at risk. Take control. Lear Capital offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at BetterNestEgg.com. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal, amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
This is Anthony George, the pastor of First Baptist Church of Atlanta. Our church has celebrated Easter Sunday in Atlanta for over 175 years, but you could make this year our best Easter yet. Whether you've never been to church or it's been a while since you went to church, why not give it a try this Easter Sunday? For more information, visit the website for First Baptist Atlanta. That's fba.org. We hope to see you there.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. You can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home fast for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Don't worry about showings, open houses, or costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market, receive an all-cash offer, and close within days. With over 12,500 five-star reviews, you can trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast with their guaranteed cash offer. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want to audition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322. 10:23 on the Mark Arum Show, and Vinny Drips already secured star of the show. Good job on the quick turnaround, Vin. All right, maybe it is worth running from the cops. 57% of suspects are apprehended after fleeing from the police. Other studies show the apprehension rate has declined in some areas. One study found that suspects were immediately apprehended in 67% of the chases, with the remaining ending without an arrest. So, I don't know. I still don't think you should do it, but apparently the success rate is better than I thought. I wasn't paying attention. I totally missed it. The launch of the Blue Origin space crew, all-female crew.
5, 4, command engine start. 2, 1, ignition.
That was the sound of the liftoff. Apparently, I was so focused on the show, I wasn't looking. They're already back down on Earth. They came back safely. Gayle King, who I used to intern for, and Oprah Winfrey's best friend, was one of the castmates. This is Oprah commenting on her bestie.
For every woman who's on this flight, it's about fulfilling something within themselves. For Gayle, it's about overcoming this great fear and also stepping into the moment of excitement.
Yeah, great. I mean, Gayle King was very adamant that she was extremely nervous about this. I give everyone credit for this because, Lord, that's crazy. Deborah, who else was on this female Blue Origin flight besides Gail King?
Besides Gail King, there was an aerospace engineer, Aisha Bowe, an activist, Amanda Gwynn. Of course, Katy Perry was on there making a lot of noise. A film producer, Carrie Ann Flynn, and then Lauren Sanchez, of course, as Bezos' fiance, was on it as well.
Yeah, the fiance. I give them. I would not want to do it. They say it's everyone that's gone up and done this. They just go into space for a little bit and they come back down. They said it's the craziest, most amazing experience of their life. I don't doubt that, but the risk reward, I barely want to get on 285 because of the risk reward. That's enough danger in my life. I credit them for having the courage because I would, even if they were like, Aram, it's free. You get to no, I'm turning it down. I know Longoria wouldn't do it because he's afraid of heights. Deborah, if you had the opportunity, you have got chutzpah, you would do it, right?
If it was free?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 minutes. Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I don't even like roller coasters.
Really?
Yeah. And plus, my nervous stomach, they'd have to delay the launch.
Oh.
They'd be like, Aram's in the potty. We got to delay for an hour. Anyway, good for them. They're back home safely, so no harm, no foul. I hope they enjoyed the experience. All right, Sabrina's standing by with news rather than traffic. She's going to update the markets. When we come back, high level, low level, some sort of talks this weekend between U.S. and Iran, of all places. Courtney Keeley from CBS is going to join us live. 11:05, we've got an extension on the tax situation. We can now file late, May 1st. Sanjay Gehi from Brass Tax Accounting is going to join us live and answer all the questions we might have about that extension. Social media is active throughout the broadcast. Give us a follow at Mark Aram and at WSB Radio.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Now open at 54 Bullsboro Drive, Home Outlet Noonan. Break up with your big box store and discover a better way to tackle home improvement. Employee-owned Home Outlet delivers the guaranteed lowest prices on a wide selection of quality in-stock kitchens, baths, floors, and more. Take advantage of our free services, including expert kitchen planning and accurate estimates for baths, floors, doors, and windows. Shop in-store or online at homeoutlet.com.
Home Outlet is your home store.
Is painting the house on your project list? Make this the last time you paint with Rhino Shield, backed by a 25-year warranty.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Friends, take 90 seconds out of your day today when you get to the office and go to advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com, and check out the before and after pictures. I want you to eventually be in the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. It's Mark Aram back with you. The results are mind-blowing. Guys that had receding hairlines, bald spots, now with a full head of hair. Advancedhair.com. Check out the before and afters. Again, I want you to be on that photo gallery at some point. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day at Advanced Hair, guaranteed to grow for life. If you want your hair back, now is the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, guys, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your own natural hair, guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Happening right now, a news conference getting underway this hour in Johns Creek, where we are expected to learn more about a settlement reached with Perry Green to resolve all claims with 3 Muslim women that he harassed after witnessing them praying at Avalon and Alpharetta in the parking lot there. The woman's attorney is going to be speaking. Here's what he said earlier.
While I can't understand necessarily his intentions, my clients are more interested in having any funds donated to a nonprofit to educate the community about Islam and to combat Islamophobia than to take any compensation for themselves.
Now, we also might hear from those 3 women. We are covering that briefing. Check back for updates. Your weather for today, sunny skies and warm, headed for an afternoon high of 82, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Atlanta police investigating a deadly shooting at a Southwest Atlanta apartment complex overnight. Officers were called to the Woodlands at Cascade Apartments in the 3000 block of Landrum Drive. They got a report of shots fired there. When police arrived on scene, they found a man who had been shot to death. They are not providing any information about a possible suspect. The investigation is ongoing this morning. Well, it's a day for the history books. For the first time, an all-female crew launched into space. CBS Morning's Gayle King, one of the 6 women on board, her best friend Oprah Winfrey, was there this morning to watch the rocket take off and come back for about 10 minutes.
For every woman who's on this flight, it's about fulfilling something within themselves. For Gayle, it's about overcoming this great fear and also stepping into the moment of excitement.
Now, Blue Origin says the 6 women became the first all-female space crew in more than 60 years. Houthi authorities in Yemen say suspected U.S. airstrikes have killed at least 6 people and wounded dozens more overnight. Trent Murray is following.
Footage shown on local media showed firefighters dousing flames at one of the sites of a strike, which the Houthis claimed was a ceramics factory. U.S. Central Command, which is overseeing operations in the region, has not commented on the airstrikes.
And the military has carried out some 200 attacks against the Iranian-backed Houthis in recent weeks. The strikes have targeted Houthi rebels over the attacks on shipping in the waters near the Red Sea. The Houthis have attacked more than 100 merchant vessels since late 2023, claiming support for Hamas in its war with Israel in Gaza. Now, your money, if you have to stop to fill up your car today, a bit of good news. Gas prices are down this week. The price for regular unleaded dropped 7 cents to $2.97 a gallon here in Georgia. That's about 46 cents cheaper than this time last year. Metro Atlanta's average is about $3.03 a gallon. Usually prices are a little bit higher this time of year. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now, we're in the green, up 400 points at 40,613. So the Dow's up 1%. NASDAQ's up more than 1.5%, and the S&P is almost up 1.5% here at 1033. That means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Thanks, Sabrina. It looks like they may be setting up construction rolling out of Conyers I-20 westbound past Sigmund Road, and you get through all that, and they've got a crash in and out of the right lane, I-20 westbound at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard, and now got a pretty bad crash. All of the intersection is blocked near Midtown Piedmont at Monroe. Avoid that area, and you really can't make much of your way off of the Buford Spring Connector onto Monroe. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 82. A cold front passing by for tomorrow morning. So tomorrow afternoon, breezy and rather cool. Highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny. Morning lows in the 40s. Daytime highs in the low 70s.
We have 66 degrees right now in Clarkston and Johns Creek. Canton, you have 65 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
Well, what a blessing that is. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
From 95.5 WSB begins Monday, April 21st.
On 95.5 WSB. Download the WSB radio app now.
Nothing matters until you get it done. So I don't like talking about it, but it's going okay. The Iran situation is going pretty good.
President Trump on board Air Force One says the Iran situation is going good. Talks held this weekend. What happened at those talks? We'll update it next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at MyLend. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. That means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at MyLend. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at MyLend. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. MyLend's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give MyLend a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
10:36 on this fast-moving edition of the Mark Arum Show. Still good news on Wall Street. Dow's up 400 plus, NASDAQ up 300. We'll continue to monitor the markets there, but so far so good. Good news on Wall Street. Was there good news out of the Iran talks this weekend?
We'll be making a decision on Iran very quickly.
Courtney Keeley joining us live, CBS Middle East reporter on the Mark Arum Show. Courtney, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Pleasure to be here.
This story kind of popped out of nowhere for me anyway last week that there would be talks between the United States and Iran scheduled for this weekend. A, did the talks go on? And B, were they productive?
Well, they sure did, and it did come out as a bit of a surprise a week ago when President Trump was sitting next to Prime Minister Netanyahu in the Oval Office, and people were asking about tariffs, and he said, we're having high-level talks with Iran. He said direct, Iran said indirect, but it was actually both. So they met in Oman, and the Omani foreign minister went between the two groups. One, the U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff led one group in another room, and then the Iranian foreign minister led the Iranian group. But at the very end, they actually met in person and just had a quick chat. Nothing formal, but so there was the indirect of going back and forth, and then they decided on meeting next Saturday. And then there was that moment that they did talk to each other.
So that, I mean, the fact that they actually talked to each other and didn't communicate through intermediaries the whole time, just to me as a layman, that sounds like a promising development.
Well, I think so. I mean, obviously there was enough to say that they went well enough that they'll be continue talking in a week. And then to see them together, now this was the first time you saw anyone from the Trump administration meeting with an Iranian official.
What does the Trump administration want from these discussions, and what, if anything, do the Iranians want from these discussions?
Well, so when President Trump was sitting next to Prime Minister Netanyahu last week, Prime Minister Netanyahu said, we want something like Libya, the Libyan nuclear deal that happened under Muammar Gaddafi. And that was a complete dismantling of the nuclear program in Libya. Now, that's not something the Iranians want. We're hearing that there's some sort of blueprint coming out of the Trump administration, although I haven't actually seen the goods, so to speak, but that would talk about dismantling the nuclear power part of the program in terms of a nuclear weapon, but not completely dismantling. So that might be the way they, square that circle. That there's close to it, but they leave some of it for peaceful purposes.
Now, the talks between Iran and the United States, but you mentioned the Israeli prime minister. They're kind of like the third wheel in this. And I know Prime Minister Netanyahu's reaction was, it seemed like he was caught off guard when President Trump made that announcement. What impact, if any, does Israel have on these negotiations? And I got to imagine that they're none too happy that this is like a normalization of relations is going on right now.
Well, we know from the lengthy tenure of Prime Minister Netanyahu what he has said about Iran. I mean, I can go back 15 years to that Acme bomb of the Red Line that he showed at the United Nations, saying they're making, they're enriching uranium for a nuclear weapon, and this has to stop. So existentially and literally, I mean, Iran was really funding and in charge of proxy militias, Hezbollah in Lebanon that Israel took out. They enjoyed a strong relationship with the former regime head of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, and they have contributed to supporting Hamas. And also, they still contribute to supporting the Houthis that are just launched ballistic missiles on Israel yesterday, the Sunday morning after the beginning of Passover, on Palm Sunday. So Netanyahu has a voice in this, and he has feelings about this, but it's a question of, will the U.S. go it alone, and then will Israel say, okay, that's good enough for us? Or will Israel say, hey, President Trump, that's not good. They'll get his ear, and then somehow the talks will dissolve and devolve into something like airstrikes against the Iranians, which I don't think a war with Iran works for anyone, especially because Iran has all sorts of borders that are critical. It's not just the borders with Turkey or Syria, it's the border with Pakistan that could really send things off a cliff. So Netanyahu knows his enemy, knows these foes, and has known them for a long time. But right now, President Trump is really negotiating with an Iranian regime that no longer has that austere clerical religiosity. Isn't a word I think I just invented, but of the former Islamic Republic.
Yeah.
Iranians I speak to in Tehran say it's more oligarchy, protecting their wealth, and reducing the sanctions on regular people so they don't try to overthrow this regime.
Courtney Keeley, Middle East reporter for CBS, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I'm glad you brought up the proxies, Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah. In part of this negotiations, could the Trump administration ask Iran, hey, stop funding these proxies and things will be a lot better and we can maybe negotiate better terms?
Well, with Israel taking out the heads of Hezbollah, that decapitation of Hezbollah is a huge game changer that is helpful for these talks. So is Assad leaving Syria. Those are two main countries that Iran really had power and really used Hezbollah in their own terms to when Hezbollah launched rockets and attacks against Israel, and they got involved in that war. Hamas is Sunni, not Shia, but in terms of Iranians and the way Iran has, in terms of missiles and the way Iran has used them for their own gain, and especially the Houthis, they could shut down the Strait of Hormuz anytime they want with Iran's blessing. So, yes, all of this is factored in, but in the last year or so, Hezbollah and Hamas have been neutralized to a point where they don't really wield any power over Israel or over the region like they had used to, especially Hezbollah and also in Syria, had a stronghold over several countries.
Indeed. All right, final question, just to recap, Courtney, the talks are again set for next weekend and in Doha again?
In Oman.
In Oman, I'm sorry. Okay, all right, so maybe we can get you back on next Monday and do another recap of those talks.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Courtney Keeley, Middle East reporter for CBS News, live in New York, joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. The fact that they actually met face-to-face at the end of the talks this week, and I read that as a really good sign. They weren't just talking through a third party. They actually met face-to-face, shook hands, but obviously something worth monitoring. Also worth monitoring on this Monday with the new tariff information. We're curious to see what the stock market was going to do, and it's still in the green. I know it's early in the trading day, but good news so far. Dow's up 464. NASDAQ up 306 points. We'll update the markets throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. All right, updating a Georgia story near and dear to my heart. Georgia's beloved Sapelo Island back in the news, Deborah.
Sapelo Island residents have been trying to protect the nature and the history of the area. They want to repeal a zoning ordinance that will allow development of much larger homes in that area. Now, original residents fear that will increase property taxes and eventually push them out altogether. The Georgia Supreme Court will hear the concerns from the residents, but a ruling isn't expected for at least another month.
I am pro-development for the most part, right? It's beautiful, the Georgia coast, the delicious Georgia shrimp. But having been to Sapelo Island, I think development and making it, the Destin of Georgia or the Panama City of Georgia, or heck, even the Tybee Island, and you start putting that would destroy the heritage and the culture and the history of Sapelo Island. Having been there, I'm anti-development. Let it be. It's such a beautiful, untouched nature area. We have so few of those left. I'm siding with anti-development on this case. Now, if you want to, maybe issue a few more building permits, like a few more Airbnb type homes, but putting up a huge hotel or big developments, it'd be a waste for me. It's so beautiful. If you haven't been, I don't know did they fix that gangway yet, Deborah? That gangway collapse?
Yeah, I think that they were able to fix that, yeah.
All right. No crocodiles, by the way, or alligators, but you might wear Crocs if you're going to Sapelo Island. Crazy Croc story, Deborah.
A man crashed into a convenience store in Missouri, and he's blaming his shoes. He drove his Ram into the store and then left without giving any information. The police were able to track him down, and he said that his Croc got stuck in the pedal. He's been charged with leaving the scene of an accident where property damage exceeded $1,000.
Well, he shouldn't have done that. But I've never worn Crocs. But I remember I was wearing flip-flops at the beach one time, and my flip-flop, I was driving a stick shift, and my flip-flop got caught in the clutch or something, and I freaked out. Like, luckily I was okay and didn't get damaged or anything, but yeah, wear proper footwear. Don't wear Crocs or flip-flops, or don't drive barefooted. A little advice from your Uncle Mark. I think Ashley Frasca would, agree with me on that. Footwear, very important. Ashley, do you struggle wearing high heels when you're driving around town?
No.
All right, it's
no,
fine.
I'm quite used to it.
All right.
But when y'all see me in them, y'all all get suspicious. You're like, oh my gosh, what are you dressed up for? So I try to wear tennis shoes.
Either a court date or a job interview. There you go. All right, how we doing on the roads, Ashley?
Not so good. A little slow trying to get through Lithonia. I-20 westbound, but a crash did just clear to the shoulder. It was in the right lane at Lithonia Industrial Boulevard. Downtown connector moving pretty well through the heart of the city in both directions, but in the Midtown area, please avoid the intersection of Monroe and Piedmont. That entire intersection is blocked with a lot of first responders and a crash there. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
I know we just started spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Believe me, warmer weather is coming, and now is the time to upgrade your deck or add to your outdoor living space. Dave Baker here. My friends at Ben Hill Renovations are experts at creating decks of all shapes and sizes. They've been doing it for over 60 years, and now is the perfect time to schedule a free at-home deck consultation at bhrenovations.com to get that new deck ready for warmer weather. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964. bhrenovations.com.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta Classical concert featuring an all-Italian program of Respighi, Paganini, May 1st and 3rd at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got to keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. If for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Last night, we experienced an attack not just on our family, but on the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania here at the governor's residence.
Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, arson attack on the governor's mansion. Next hour, we'll go in depth on that. And after the news at 11, Sanjay Gehi, the official accountant of the Mark Arum Show, is going to join us live on the tax extension, the deadline extension we have here in Georgia. Taxes not due tomorrow, I think. They'll be due May 1st. Sanjay will answer all of our questions. I do want to ask Deborah Green. So last night, Maya and I went out for a Passover dinner. I also realized belatedly that yesterday is Palm Sunday.
Yep.
And forgive my ignorance, but what is the historical origin of Palm Sunday, and how important of a day is it?
So it is the start of Holy Week. It's the leading up into Easter, so that's why this week is called Holy Week. And in biblical times, the stories that you will read is on Palm Sunday is when Jesus arrived in the city, and everybody was getting ready for Passover feasts. And he arrived to, this, oh my God, this person is coming. We're going to hear him speak. And it was kind of this big deal that he arrived in the city, and then just a day later, he is executed. And that's the significance of Palm Sunday.
And they greeted him with like palm fronds, right? That was interesting. Better. I mean, good. That's good. It was palms and not, a weird kind of tree, like pine tree. It'd be Pine Sunday instead of Palm Sunday. So this kicks off Holy Week, and then Easter, of course, is on Sunday. And then on Sunday or Monday, Longo is going straight to Whataburger to break his Lenten fast. Are you doing Sunday night or Monday morning? You going to
doing Sunday morning? What are you talking about?
Sunday
Before
morning.
church?
Oh, I didn't know.
Church, I'm getting up early.
So right on Sunday and Easter Sunday, you can partake.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what your Easter egg plans are this Sunday, but Easter without an Easter egg hunt, it might be the case this year. ABC's Wayne Cabot has the story.
Eggflation has led to desperation. Some people now turning to decorating marshmallows and hiding them. Walmart is selling a kit that includes food colorings, fine point decorating pens, tongs, and a 24-ounce bag of jumbo marshmallows, all for $1.99. The brand of marshmallows claims to have signature puffing technology. And unlike eggs, it won't stink up the house if you forget where you hid them. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
I always thought Easter eggs were hidden outside, Deborah, not inside the house. I guess it depends.
It depends on what kind of festival you're having. If it's cold and rainy, like sometimes it would be in the Midwest for us, you might want to have them indoors.
Interesting. All right, that makes sense then. I would hesitate to put marshmallows in the backyard for an Easter egg hunt, lest you forget them, and then you have all these critters coming in, and it's probably not good, right? You don't want a rabbit or a squirrel.
You can have a rabbit. It's Easter.
No, but eating the marshmallows, it's probably not good if you leave, just marshmallows out in the backyard. The wildlife probably wreck their digestive system, I would imagine. All right, but it's better than an onion or a potato. So if you're going to paint anything this Easter, paint a marshmallow, not an onion or a potato. All right, Sabrina's going to update you on your top local stories in under 3 minutes. Still good news on Wall Street. The Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are all up. Let's check for the crypto bros. Ooh, Bitcoin's up $1,800 today. 2% increase, so congrats to the crypto bros. When we come back, the big story today is the postponement of your tax filing deadline if you are here in the state of Georgia. Normally tomorrow is the tax deadline, but because of the horrible hurricanes in Georgia, we've got a reprieve until May 1st. What does that mean for you and me? We're going to talk to a tax expert when we come back. And then next hour, amazing prizes to give away. We're going to give away another pair of tickets to see Yacht Rock Review, not only at their concert at Ameris Bank Amphitheater, but next Monday here at the WSB Radio Studios, a special private presentation in the WSB Live Lounge. So we're giving those tickets away in the next hour. Social media is always active at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Cool-Ray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit brightboxelectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids. And talk about the old days, when all this was just farmland.
Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. 2 people are dead following a fire in Duluth over the weekend. Lieutenant Jeff Golan with Gwinnett Fire just now telling me this was on Bent Willow Drive in Lilburn.
Firefighters responded to what is a recreational trailer. It was in the woods behind the main structure down by a lake in Lilburn.
He says when firefighters arrived, that RV trailer was fully engulfed. When they went through after putting out the fire, they found the remains of 2 adults, a man and a woman. No names have yet been released. Sunny and warm today with a high around 82, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. That's the sound of 6 women are back on Earth now. They returned from space following their out-of-this-world ride on board the commercial space jet Blue Origin rocket this morning. Katy Perry was among them, and she talked with Blue Origin about the experience.
This experience is second to being a mom.
Now, this was Jeff Bezos' company's first all-female space flight since 1963. A new investment firm seeking to raise $1.5 billion to put empty office buildings to better use, including here in Atlanta. The firm Donahue Douglas looks to tap into a flood of vacant office buildings for sale, combined with tax incentives offered in 10 major cities, including Atlanta. Bloomberg reports the office-to-home conversion projects are aimed at helping meet demand for affordable housing in a cheaper and faster way than building homes from scratch. The pandemic caused many employers to rethink their real estate, with one analysis estimating an office vacancy rate of close to 20%. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB. Foster care advocates are waiting on Governor Kemp's signature on a bill that would expand the current Fostering Success tax credit. Allison Ash, president and CEO of Wellroot Family Services, telling us.
With the tax credit money, we can provide housing, food, life skills training, mental health supports, and everything a young person needs to be able to launch into young adulthood.
Now, Governor Kemp has until May 14th to sign or veto the legislation. If he does nothing, it will become law. Speaking of taxes, the deadline to file your taxes in Georgia has been extended.
The deadline this year is May the 1st for federal and state returns and payments associated. And it's because of the hurricane that went through, Hurricane Helene that went through here.
That is Judine Reese, a CPA here in Metro Atlanta. She says even though the deadline has been extended, her recommendation, go ahead and file by the end of the day tomorrow if you can. And Wall Street's opening higher after President Trump's latest announcement on tariffs. Alice Barr has more.
The Trump administration's surprise move exempting tech devices like smartphones and computers from punishing 125% tariffs on Chinese imports, though a 20% levy remains, giving stock markets an early boost.
And tech stocks, including Apple, advancing. But the president said yesterday that he'll be announcing tariff rates on imported semiconductors this week in an effort to bring more production to the United States. The markets are in the green. The Dow's up 461 at 40,674. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's up more than 1.5%, and the S&P's not far behind. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good Monday morning, Sabrina. Right now, watching some volume downtown, 75-85 northbound. A little sluggish leaving University Avenue, getting up past the merge with I-20 toward Freedom Parkway. Don't forget, nasty crash in the northeast Atlanta Midtown area, Monroe Drive at Piedmont is a crash investigation. Police on scene directing traffic there. Elsewhere, still seeing a few brake lights out of Lawrenceville, 316 westbound, sluggish before and after Sugarloaf Parkway. Once you get on to 85 southbound, moving nicely between Duluth and Norcross. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 82, lows tonight in the upper 50s to low 60s. A cold front passing by tomorrow morning will keep our afternoon highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Wind gusts tomorrow afternoon as high as 30 miles per hour.
It is 69 degrees in Brookhaven and Kennesaw. College Park, you have 70 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I want this town to be near you.
11:04
on this gorgeous Monday in Atlanta. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Coming up in exactly 30 minutes, Deborah's got another amazing prize pack to give away. Tickets to see Yacht Rock Review in concert at Ameris Bank Amphitheater and a special private showing here at the WSB Radio Live Lounge next Monday, co-hosted or hosted by me. We'll do a Q&A, meet the band. Fantastic prize. We're going to give away another pair of tickets to both of those amazing events coming up in 30 minutes. We're going to continue to monitor tariff reaction on the Wall Street, but right now all the indices are up. Big local story this morning on Atlanta's Morning News. Because of the hurricanes that hit Georgia, Georgia tax filers now have an extension until May 1st to file their taxes. I wanted to go in depth on that, so we bring us a longtime friend of mine and friend of the show. You love him, you miss him. CPA from Brass Tax Accounting, Sanjay Gehi. Sanjay, my man, good morning, brother.
How you doing this morning, Mark?
I'm excellent. Thanks for jumping on this developing story. Let's start with what this extension means to Georgia taxpayers.
Right on. So this actually happened back in October when Hurricane Helene and Milton came through. There were tax deadlines that were pushed back for several states. The October deadlines got pushed. They went ahead and pushed any deadlines that for affected states, and the affected states are Georgia, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Any tax deadlines between October and May 1st were pushed to May 1st. So this came about in October of last year, but it wasn't really loud. They weren't loud about it. So a lot of folks don't realize it. And frankly speaking, we have been working towards an April 15th deadline because we like tax season to end then, but there's definitely you still have until May 1st to file your taxes.
I was wondering about that because you've been on my tush to get my stuff in by April, and then I saw this headline. I'm like, wait, I got till May 1st. So that's just you just wanted to clear your calendar before April 15th.
I did. I've got plans. Just kidding.
Understood. All right. So if someone wants to file an extension on their taxes, do they still need to file by tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a super good question. So anyone who needs to file extensions beyond May 1st, you can absolutely file the extension. But the only rub is that you need to, if you're gonna file it electronically, you need to do it by tomorrow. If you want to file it between April 15th and May 1st, if you decide during that time that you want to file an extension for the 6 months normal extension, then you actually have to paper file it. And we all know how paper filing goes. Anything. I don't really necessarily like putting anything in the mail these days. So
yeah, good point.
So I would urge folks to go ahead if you know you're going to be filing an extension and need time beyond May 1st. Go ahead and electronically file the extension. We've been working on quite a few of those today.
Now, if you're expecting a refund, it's no problem for filing the extension. But if you owe the IRS,
right,
when you file that extension, not only do you file the extension, but you have to pay the assumed taxes by tomorrow, correct?
That is correct. So people don't realize oftentimes that extensions are just an extension for the filing date. The taxes are actually due on April 15th normally for Georgia, similar to the filing dates being pushed. The payment isn't due until May 1st either. But beyond that time, even if you filed an extension for the filing of the tax return, you will incur some failure to pay and interest penalties on the money that's owed. Correct.
Sanjay Gehi, owner, founder of Brass Tax Accounting, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, online at brass.tax or Brass Tax Accounting on Facebook. Switching from that deadline to taxes in general.
Yeah.
We've seen these massive cuts at the IRS. Do you think people will see their refunds delayed? Like you've got, people that get their taxes stuffed to you early. So I know I'm an outlier waiting till the last moment all the time. Have you seen any delays in folks getting their refunds because of the IRS cuts?
So I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like you said, I have real world experience here. I have people that filed back in March And the refunds are coming pretty quickly. Like within, I tell people within two days to 2 weeks, and it very much favors that earlier sentiment. Like 2 days, 2 to 3 days in general for the IRS. For the Georgia Department of Revenue, sometimes things are a little bit slower. I will even say that people that have made payments electronically when they file their tax returns for taxes owed, again, the IRS is pretty quick. Within 2 or 3 days, the money comes out of your account. But I've noticed that the Georgia Department of Revenue sometimes is a little bit late on pulling the money out. So I have not
But
seen a lot
that's
of
historic, though,
delays.
right? That's
That
that's
is
traditionally the
that
way it goes.
that is correct. So in terms of has it changed, I don't see much change in terms of the refunds being delayed
So
or
good
anything
news
like
there. If
that.
you are getting a refund, you should see it pretty rapid from the
Yes.
federal level, and then the state after that. All right. For those of us though that might not get a refund with the manpower shortage in the IRS, do you think that audits from the IRS are going to become less infrequent?
So I kind of feel like audits are going to become much more timely and maybe even more pointed because I think that they use algorithms to kind of figure out whether a tax return is, maybe somebody is a yoga instructor and they have like, a $50,000 loss for the last 3 years showing up on their tax
Mm-hmm.
return. These are outliers, and normally the algorithm will catch these and throw them out for manual handling. Uh, I believe these algorithms are only going to get better with some of the AI and things
Interesting.
like that coming out there. So do I think there will be less audits? Maybe, maybe not. But do I think there will be more accurate audits, like folks that probably are being a little pushy on their taxes? I think that might be the case.
So even though there's less agents at the IRS to do these audits,
Yeah.
the technology has advanced to the point where you better play right and fly straight with your taxes. Otherwise,
That's
the
yeah.
algorithm is gonna kick you to someone to do an audit.
That's right. And I'll tell you one more quick point, another real world experience situation. I used to wait on hold for an hour to an hour and a half if I wanted to speak to an IRS agent.
Hmm.
And since the manpower reduction, I'm gonna say I spend about 5 to 7 minutes on hold.
What?
So
That's
so so I
odd.
don't understand. I don't know why it's work. I don't know if they're just putting people in the right places.
Or they know who
Maybe
you
they're
are now. They're like, oh,
yeah,
that's Sanjay. We better
yeah, well,
take
that's
his call.
also very true. People know my name.
Knock on wood, Sanj. I've never been audited, thanks to you.
Absolutely.
But if someone does get audited, how quickly do you find out? How quickly does the IRS
So
say, "Hey, we're going to go in depth on your stuff"?
yeah, so that's kind of, why it's very important to kind of collect a lot of the evidence you have for deductions in your tax return because oftentimes the audits don't come like next month. It might be 3 years from now.
Oh, dang.
And when the IRS is asking you questions about specific mileage that you had 3 years ago, if you don't have a proper mileage log, if you don't have the evidence saved in a folder, it not only is it difficult to pull together, you may not be able to pull together. You may not remember where these things are. So again, another reason why it's very important to just keep the evidence, keep the mileage logs, keep everything together so that in the case of an audit, you'll be able to do something about it because it could be up to 3 years ahead, 3 years later.
Is that the line of demarcation? After 3 years, they can't come back and audit, or
Well, not necessarily.
okay?
And if they do find any sort of fraud, like anything that was done fraudulent anywhere during an audit, they can go back indefinitely. So again, like we do not encourage any tax evasion
Yeah,
ever.
sure. And always keep your files, right?
That's
That's
right.
I
That's
don't
right.
have to do anything like mileage logs, but keep all your 1099s, your
Absolutely.
W-2s, your documents for your mortgage interest, stuff like
Right.
that. Always
And
keep it.
that's why, like, when I file tax returns for folks, I keep all of those things as work papers so that you don't have to. So that if you get a letter, all you have to do is send me the letter, and I have all the evidence on hand to deal with any issues or questions that come out.
All right. Well, it's peace of mind. You know,
Absolutely.
Once I get Sanjay's seal of approval, I know everything's on the up and up. All right. If folks have more questions about the deadline or taxes in general, give the folks the ways to hook up with you, your website, et cetera.
Absolutely. You can just go to brass.tax online, and we have an inquiry or an appointment link there, or you can always shoot me an email, sanjay@brass.tax.
Interesting. All right, and I'm almost done, right? You need like one or two things for me. I'll get them this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Maya got all the documents uploaded like back in February.
Absolutely. She did. She did, but we knew that was going to happen.
Exactly.
We
Well, I
knew
didn't
that
know
was
until May 1st now. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-lane luxury cruise. All right, Sanj, thanks for jumping on with the update on the tax situation, buddy.
My man.
There you go. Sanjay Gehi, CPA, owner, founder of Brass Tax Accounting, online at brass.tax. Good stuff there. If you are a slacker like me and you haven't gotten your stuff, you got some more breathing room. You got a couple of weeks to wait until that May 1st deadline. All right, checking the markets. Let's see. Let me hit refresh. The Dow is up 362, NASDAQ up $1.92. So it's come down a little bit on the tariff uncertainty. Speaking of tariffs, businesses have begun passing extra costs along to consumers. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez explains.
Some shoppers are starting to notice a new line on their receipts, a surcharge for tariffs. Some companies are charging flat fees, others a percentage of the total cost of a given purchase for everything from cars to clothing. The owner of one wellness company tells the Wall Street Journal tacking on an extra $5 doesn't even come close to covering the levy on Chinese goods, but she says it feels better than pretending everything is fine. Some business leaders are emailing customers detailed explanations of how tariffs will affect their supply chains. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
All right, so look at your receipts when you're going somewhere to see if you get levied with a tariff tax hit on that. One local tariff story, there's the Rook and Pawn Cafe and bar up in Athens, Georgia. Great little spot. It's like a bar, but you can go and play board games or whatever. And Tim, one of the owners, shared on Facebook on the Rook and Pawn Facebook account that their supplier of board games is not going to be importing any more board games because of the tariffs. So I guess board games are traditionally made overseas, maybe in China. And if whatever a board, I don't even know how much like Monopoly costs. Was that $30 to buy the game Monopoly? I have no idea. You probably don't either, folks. We have the Monopoly games we had since the 70s. We haven't updated it. But say it's $30. Now with the tariffs, it'll be $60. So this importer of board games is like, we're not importing anything. We're just selling our remaining stock until we get clarification on the tariffs. So you just never know where the tariffs are going to pop up, whether it's avocados or board games or automobiles. Just a reminder to check traffic. We got delays out Lithonia way. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Yeah, just a little bit of volume through the work zone. Good morning, Mark. We're seeing a few brake lights. 20 westbound out of Lithonia, trying to get past Panola Road, then a tap of the brakes before and after Wesley Chapel. They don't have any of the construction barrels out there blocking any lanes. That is the good news. If you're traveling I-85 southbound out of Gwinnett County or through Gwinnett County, it's a tap of the brakes as well from 316 in Duluth, trying to get down to Jimmy Carter Boulevard. And still got this nasty crash investigation shutting down Piedmont Road at Monroe Drive there in northeast Atlanta, kind of like the Midtown area. Police are on scene directing traffic. Might want to think about Morningside Drive, East Morningside Drive, some alternates that will get you around that, as well as North Highlands Avenue. This report brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Believe me, warmer weather is coming, and now is the time to upgrade your deck or add to your outdoor living space. Dave Baker here. My friends at Ben Hill Renovations are experts at creating decks of all shapes and sizes. They've been doing it for over 60 years, and now is the perfect time to schedule a free at-home deck consultation at bhrenovations.com to get that new deck ready for warmer weather. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964. bhrenovations.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Now's a great time to stock up on Del Monte canned vegetables. Select varieties are on sale for only $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is Rocco with another reason why you should always bring your European vehicle to Rocco's European Garage. No tax charged on any service at any one of our 6 locations through the month of April. That's 0 tax on your bill. You'll receive the usual top-notch customer service, including upfront pricing, customer approval prior to beginning work, complimentary shuttle service, and a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker. And remember, guys, no tax this month on any service or repair at Rocco's European Garage.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, you know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
11:24 on the Mark Arum Show. Tariff uncertainty impacting Wall Street, Main Street, but more specifically, Apple, the company. Joining us from Bloomberg News, talking tariffs, Laura Davidson. Laura, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning.
All right, so this tariff uncertainty affecting us all, but none more so than Apple Inc., right?
Yes, they were part of a suite of companies that import, phones, computers, electronics from China that was given a brief to purchase. Of course, this applies to, all the other goods that come from China, everything from household wares to textiles to shoes and clothes. But those tariffs are still on for now. There could be more tariffs coming. It's unclear what that new sort of electronics tariff could look like, what rate that could be going forward.
So good news today, but still uncertainty, right? As far as Apple products are concerned and imports from China, we don't know when those the tariff reprieve might end.
Absolutely. This could be a relatively short-lived thing, or it could be, go on for months, not years. If potentially, if companies like Apple, are able to negotiate some sort of reprieve or exemption, it could be a long time before we see any movement on that front. Apple was very famous in the first term with Trump's tariffs to be able to exempt a lot of the components it needed to make those iPhones, and they were not as hard hit as a lot of other companies that import from China.
Final question for you, Laura. How's Apple stock doing today on this good news, I guess?
It's enjoying it. The markets have really been all over the place. There's been a ton of volatility. As we've seen, tariffs get imposed, roll off, and there's a lot of uncertainty about where exactly this is going. But at least traders are briefly happy here. Laura
Davidson, Bloomberg News. Laura, thanks for the update.
Thanks.
When we get back after news, weather, and traffic, the El Salvadorian president about to arrive at the White House. We'll cover that arrival and what he is going to talk about with President Trump and the future of Abrego Garcia. Plus, arson attack at the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. We'll go in depth on that breaking story. Social media is active throughout the broadcast. Give us a follow, folks, at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
When you need quality professional tree work, choose Heath Tree Service. Hi, I'm Jimmy Heath. My father started Heath Tree Service over 60 years ago, and we're still family owned. Certified arborists and experts with trees. Find us at heathtreeservice.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. This just in. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien just now telling me that Perry Green, the ex-husband of Marjorie Taylor Greene, has agreed now to pay $75,000 to the 3 college students that he harassed as they prayed in a parking lot at Avalon and Alpharetta. The money is being donated to the local mosque there. We'll have more on this story coming up on the news at noon, so join us for that. Your weather for today, it's going to be beautiful, sunny and warm, highs around 82, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. 2 people dead in an RV fire in Lilburn. The call came in early Saturday morning about a fire and explosion on Bent Willow Drive. Lieutenant Jeff Golan with Gwinnett Fire tells me the RV trailer was fully engulfed when the firefighters arrived on scene.
After they went through the structure and they started overhauling it to try to get all the hot spots, they did find the remains of 2 adults.
And he says it was a man and a woman. No names have yet been released. Foul play is not suspected. A day for the history books. The first time an all-female crew is launched into space. CBS Morning's Gayle King, among the 6 women who are on board, once back on the ground. She talked about the experience during an interview with Blue Origins.
It's oddly quiet when you get up there. It's really quiet and peaceful. And you look down at the planet and you think, that's where we came from?
And Katy Perry was also on the flight. She says the experience was second to being a mom. The director of the National Economic Council says more than 10 countries have offered amazing trade deals. Kevin Hassett says this will all work out for the U.S. in the end.
Just before I came in, equities were up a lot. I think the equilibrium policies of the president are going to be very, very good for the country and for equities.
And Hassett also said that there is no chance the U.S. will fall into a recession this year. Meanwhile, he pushed back on claims of insider trading by White House officials before the president announced a pause in tariffs last week. Here in Georgia, we're getting a little extra time to do our taxes. We have until May 1st, the deadline here, because of Hurricane Helene. CPA Judine Reese says her recommendation, though, is to go ahead and file by the end of the day tomorrow if you can. But if you need the extra time, you do have until May 1st. And as you're doing your taxes, she says there are some deductions you want to keep in mind.
Mortgage interest deductions, property taxes paid deductions. And, of course, if you incurred any damage in the hurricanes, those are things you need to be thinking about as well.
Also, charitable contributions, she says, may be deductible. And there is a warning from the IRS during this tax time. Beware of scammers. One of the most common tax scams circulating right now is a text message or email that appears to be from the IRS. The message might offer you easy ways to file your taxes or a link that says that your taxes are ready. The IRS says that they will never send a link via email or text, and they will never demand anything from you or threaten you. You're also being urged to avoid any tax advice on social media. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 298 at 40,511. NASDAQ is also in positive territory, up almost a full percent, and so is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather, brought to you by Fenley Roofing. Alex Williams has a look at the roads.
DOT putting up some construction in the right lane into Cobb County, I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road and Panola Road. So just use caution, stay to the left as you make the commute out to Lithonia. Some westbound delays as well, 20 westbound, leaving them all at Stonecrest. And we still got this nasty crash working northeast Atlanta. Crash investigation shutting down Piedmont at Monroe. Make sure you treat that as a shutdown intersection as it is. Police are on scene directing traffic to help you get around that. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies today, high 82. A cold front passing by for tomorrow morning. So tomorrow afternoon, breezy and rather cool. Highs in the upper 60s, low 70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny. Morning lows in the 40s. Daytime highs in the low 70s.
72 degrees right now in Riverdale. It's 70 in Vinings, and Milton has 71 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 north.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
We do know that this attack was targeted. We don't know the person's specific motive yet.
Governor of Pennsylvania after an arson attack on the governor's mansion there. We'll go in depth on that story. Plus, Deborah's got an amazing prize pack to give away. That's next on the Mark Arum Show.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Extra rain could mean extra trouble for your roof. If spring has sprung inside your home, there will be signs. Look for wet spots, water streaks, or dripping water on the ceiling, drywall, chimney area, or in the attic. If that wet spot is now a dry stain, it's still a problem. So when it comes to your roof, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. They've replaced over 65,000 roofs locally with high-quality roofing experience and expertise. Only Findlay offers a lifetime leak-free warranty at no additional cost. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. Get started today at FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries of most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
El Salvadorian president just arrived at the White House, greeted outside the front door by President Trump. We'll monitor that coming up in just a second. We're going to go up to Pennsylvania, get the latest on that arson attack on the governor's mansion. But first, what an amazing prize pack Deborah Green has for us today. We already gave away one of these in the 9 o'clock hour. What are we giving away right now, Deborah Green?
Another pair of tickets to go see Yacht Rock Review do a very private performance right here in the WSB Live Lounge. That is 1 week from today, Monday, April 21st. And then you will also get a bonus performance, tickets to see Yacht Rock Review at Ameris Bank Amphitheater on Saturday, April 26th.
Sick, just sick, no hyperbole. This is one of the best prizes we've ever given away here on the Mark Arum Show. Vinny, I'm going to double up. We're going to do the 44th caller again. I got to make these people earn these tickets, Vin. This is so great. By the way, I talked to Amanda. I asked her, hey, food and beverage for the live lounge. She's like, Arum, I got to deal with audio first. I can't. She brushed me aside. So I don't know about food and beverage, but Yacht Rock Review, private little concert at the WSB Live Lounge. I will be there hosting it. What an amazing prize. 44th caller to Vinny Drip at 404-872-0750. 44th caller to 404-872-0750 will win that amazing. And we got those, we're going to give them away tomorrow too, right, Deborah? 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock hour, 2 more pairs tomorrow?
That's right.
You can only win them here on the Mark Arum Show. Good stuff there. All right, I'm going to play some audio here. These are politicians in Western Pennsylvania condemning the arson attack on Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence.
Is everybody safe? Is everybody okay?
I was stunned.
You know, Butler happened with President Trump. Now this is happening with Governor Shapiro.
I think this was, in my mind, kind of an extension of the political violence.
Unbelievable. So a suspect is in custody after that terrifying arson attack targeted the Pennsylvania's governor's family over the weekend. ABC's Aaron Katersky's in Harrisburg with the latest.
Authorities now charging 38-year-old Cody Balmer of Harrisburg with aggravated arson, attempted murder, and terrorism.
He clearly had a plan. He was very methodical in his approach, without a lot of hurry.
Police say the suspect confessed and told them he would have attacked Governor Shapiro with a hammer had he found him inside. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News Balmer has posted disdain for Democrats.
Unbelievable. Governor Shapiro commenting after the attack that I believe destroyed the dining room of the governor's mansion.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other, directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay.
Not okay, indeed. Now, you heard from Aaron Katersky. Apparently, the motive was, anti-democratic. We don't know for sure. They've already thrown out like this is a mentally troubled guy, et cetera, et cetera. But when I first heard the story, Deborah, my immediate reaction was Jewish governor, Passover, arson. This was an anti-Semitic attack. That was just my knee-jerk reaction. Now, it might not be the case. It might just be a political motive, or he might just be a crazy lunatic or whatever. But that was my initial reaction. And this was before I heard about this story. Last night, Maya and I went to General Muir, Jewish restaurant near Emory. Great little delicatessen. They had a special Passover dinner, Deborah. So, and they had reservations. Maya, of course, got back from out of town on Friday, and normally she would make a Passover Seder for us on Saturday, but I was like, you're jet lagged. Don't even worry about it. We'll go to General Muir on Sunday. She's like, oh, great. So they had this, 5-course meal, fixed price. So I made us, Maya, I told her about it. Maya made the reservations for us last night, and we go in there, and it's fantastic. But in my head, and this is before I even knew about the Josh Shapiro story, which we don't know the motive yet. But in my head, I was on edge the whole meal. I made sure I sat with my, facing the front door. There's big windows all around the restaurant, because I was like, wow, if there's anyone, and we know, listen, there was, pro-Palestinian protesters on Emory. We had that Israeli-owned bakery, the cookie place, Allie's Cookies of Emory. They've been targeted with anti-Semitic slurs. So I couldn't even relax and enjoy the meal because I was on the edge of my seat going, well, this is, a soft target. If what better target for anti-Semitics to hit than a Jewish restaurant serving Passover dinner? So, I enjoyed the meal. It was delicious. It was great. I've got pictures up on my Instagram account if you want to see. But I could not. I was tense the whole time, looking as people were walking past the restaurant, like, are they, here to? It's really off-putting. It was really uncomfortable. Anyway, we'll monitor more on the arson attack. Can we go to the White House, Longoria? President Trump welcoming the Salvadoran president to the White House.
In Africa, Asia, all over the world, Europe, rough parts of Europe. And they came from prisons, and they came from mental institutions, and they came from gangs, and the gangs of Venezuela and other places. And hundreds of thousands and even millions of them came. 21 million people altogether, but many of the people that came, just a tremendous percentage of them were criminals, in some cases violent criminals. We had 11,088 known murderers. Half of them murdered more than one person. This was allowed by a man who, what he did to our country is just unbelievable. So we're straightening it out. We're getting him out. But what they did and what that party did to our country, open borders, anybody could come in. As soon as I heard that, I said, every prison's going to be emptied out into our country. That's what happened. And we're straightening it out. And we just had numbers. We had the highest recruiting numbers in the history of our country going into police departments. And a year ago, we had the lowest numbers. You couldn't hire a biggest change. Yeah. Nobody's from ever the lowest seen. To the highest. And the military now, Marines, the Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, every slot is, We have the best numbers we've ever had. We call it recruitment numbers, and we've never had anything like it. We had records on at every single level. But very important, the policemen. The policemen are joining forces now. That we're having a hard time with policemen because we weren't protecting our police. Yeah. And we cherish our police. The police are great, and the firemen and everybody else. But we have the highest numbers that we've ever had, the most enthusiasm. Great enthusiasm. And
all right, we're listening live to President Trump as he welcomes the El Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele to the White House. I am monitoring to see if there was any discussion about Abrego Garcia. He, of course, the Venezuelan that was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. I don't believe that he came to the White House with this El Salvadorian president. I think we would have seen that already, but we'll continue to monitor this. I want to hear from the El Salvadorian president as well on this pre-planned visit. Obviously, they're going to probably talk tariffs, as we expect more world leaders to come to the White House to talk to President Trump about tariffs. But the big story there is the ongoing deportation of migrants to that El Salvadorian prison. And again, as the Supreme Court said 9-0 yesterday that Abrego Garcia should be returned. I believe we can hear from the president and the El Salvadorian president here.
5%, it's incredible.
Okay. As of this morning, 99%, 99.1% to be exact.
Why are those numbers not in the media?
Well, they get out with the fake news, like CNN over here doesn't want to put them out because they don't like putting out good numbers. They only like putting out because I think they hate our country, actually.
Yeah,
but it's a shame. You're right. Isn't that a great question? Why doesn't the media? Why don't they put out numbers?
Yeah, 99%. I mean, it's crazy, right?
We're doing
it's
great.
A crazy turnaround.
Well, that's President Trump. The El Salvadorian president speaks perfect English, though. I mean, perfect. No need for a translator there. We'll monitor that. We'll have an update throughout the day on what's going on with the migrant situation and the tariff situation. All right, so it's a similar setup when Vladimir Zelensky was in that room. I see Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I see Vice President J.D. Vance. I see Susie Wiles, the Chief of Staff. And I think, God, we need a bigger TV. I think that's Kristi Noem also in the meeting area there with the president. But we'll monitor that and provide updates throughout the day. President Trump says, we don't give you good numbers in the media. I'll give you good numbers right here. The Dow is up 139 points. NASDAQ up 40 points. Dow, by the way, up over 40,000 points. That, for me, that's the big number in my head that I like to see is north of there. Updates throughout the day on the markets. Now we update what's been a really bad crash in Northeast Atlanta. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Yeah, watching the brake lights in DeKalb County. DOT says they got right lane road work. I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel Road exit 68 and Panola Road exit 71. Seeing just a tap of the brakes there. Westbound on and off the brakes from the mall at Stonecrest over to the east side perimeter. Downtown 75-85 northbound. Also a few delays from University Avenue up past Freedom Parkway. Southbound tapping the brakes from 17th Street down past North Avenue. And the crash investigation continues in Northeast Atlanta. Piedmont Road shut down at Monroe Drive. Police on scene directing traffic there, so avoid that if you can. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, Taxman got you down?
How about a $1,000 pickup?
Win $1,000. 5 different keywords. 5 chances every weekday.
I just won $1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Beginning Monday, April 21st.
Download the WSB app. Rules and info at WSBradio.com/cash.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Coolray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit brightboxelectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids. And talk about the old days, when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Motorcycle riders like you are a different breed. You don't just ride your bike, you're obsessed. So if someone causes you to lay your bike down, you need a different kind of attorney, one that understands bikers and their rights. Eric Von Hessler here for my friends at Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group, motorcycle injury lawyers who ride. You can trust them on the road and in the courtroom. Steel Horse Law can help you get back on your feet, medical bills paid, and your case resolved. Trust is everything, and results matter. Free case evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
So what is it with vampires and clothes? You always think the March of Fashion stopped dead the day you did.
Happy birthday, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar turns 48 years old today. I never watched the show.
What?
No, I watched the movie. I like the Buffy in the movie more than the Buffy in the show, but I do like Sarah Michelle Gellar from Cruel Intentions. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. Anyway, I know the show is better than the movie, right, when it comes to Buffy?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Shows everything.
All right, but I like the movie back in the day. One more birthday note. Adrian Brody turns 52.
So you play the cello, Dorota. That's nice. And who's your favorite composer? Chopin, really? Wow.
He won Academy
First
Award
one to
Best
play is
Actor
Chinese
for his
Sinatra.
leading role in The Pianist. You got to say that word very carefully. Congrats to Kevin and Alpharetta. He won that amazing prize pack to see not one, but two performances by Yacht Rock Review, including next Monday, small, intimate performance here at the WSB Radio Live Lounge. We'll have more tickets to give away tomorrow in the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock hour. Updating that horrific chopper crash in New York City. The company flying the helicopter that crashed into the Hudson last week, killing 6 on board, has ceased operations, out of business. Wendy Gillette has more from New York.
The FAA says New York Helicopter Tours is shutting down its operations immediately. In a statement, the agency says it's launching a review of the tour operator's license and safety record. New York Senator Chuck Schumer is calling for additional safety measures.
I'm also demanding that the FAA increase what are called ramp inspections at other metro area helicopter companies.
He says dive teams are still searching the water for a missing rotor and gearbox. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
So that charter company that did the helicopter tours in New York City had been in business for decades. So I was kind of shocked when they said we're going out of business. But I guess you don't recover, right? If you're a business, you don't recover from that. You know, your chopper goes down, 6 people dead. You're getting some bad Yelp reviews. No one's booking you on your right. Like that's just the end of the company. So at first I was surprised, but I was like, oh, it makes sense. That they'd go out of business. Like, who's going to fly on them? Who's going to fly in their choppers after what happened on the Hudson? Tragic story.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today is National Gardening Day today, and did you know plants can talk to each other? They release chemicals into the soil that act as signals informing other plants about potential threats and resources. And some plants offer false rewards or create deceptive appearances to attract pollinators.
I've heard that people will talk to their plants and sing or play music for their plants. Today's National Gardening Day. Where the heck has Ashley Frasca been?
I have no idea.
First of all, she should have taken the day off.
Right, yeah. That's
And
like a
secondly,
national
she
holiday
should
for
have
her.
come in and talked about National Gardening Day with us, her beloved coworkers. By the way, I'm going to start a text chain right after we get off the air with me, Ashley, Deborah, and Longoria.
Okay.
She's going to tell you a story from the weekend.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, Deborah and Longoria can relate to what you're going through right now. So that's just an off-air tease for you guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to you're going to die laughing.
Will this be on Signal?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we should do it on a Signal.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
No,
should.
it's not classified. It's just very, very funny. So yeah. All right. Good job. Let's get some stars of the show. Get out here.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
All right. I'm only giving 1 star of the show today. It's Vinny Drip. Vinny, you did it. You came up with audio that I didn't use, which was fantastic. You came up with on the fly. You were head and shoulders above. I want to separate you. I'm not going to. Deborah, of course, deserve one. Longoria, but I want to shine a spotlight on your amazing work today. I will give honorable mentions though to our guests. They're just not getting stars of the show. John Decker, Jennifer DePinto, Courtney Leahy, Laura Davidson from Bloomberg, Stephen Portnoy. They were all fine. But I want Vinny to get the spot. Vinny Drip gets the spotlight today. The only star of the show. Fist bump, my man. And he got a smoothie before the show, so he's healthy, Vinny. Social medias are active throughout the day at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.